Hello everyone, we have here the new Polestar 2 model year 2024. We are allowed to drive today and I'm very excited. I want to see how the efficiency is. We are trying to make a range test. It won't be a full range test because we only have the car for 3 hours and we're already late as usual because I wanted a single motor, since I have tested a single motor Polestar 2 not 6 months ago or so. And we're gonna go through the data. First we're gonna get killed by a car. We're gonna go through the data a bit. This is, like I said, a long-range single motor with 299 horsepower, rear-wheel drive now, not front-wheel drive like the old version. 6.2 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. 205 kilometers an hour is the top speed. WLTP range 655 kilometers. So this is the most efficient Polestar 2 you can have. Now we have a 82 kilowatt hour battery, 79 kilowatt hours can be used. Charging is different. AC is still 11 kilowatt, but DC is now 205 kilowatt peak charging, and that's awesome. By the way, it starts at 55,000 euros here in Germany. Okay, we're starting our range test. I'm gonna reset my trip. Then the highway is very close. I'm gonna try to drive 130. We'll see. I'm scared that there's a lot of speed limits and we have to do it at a slower speed, but I hope so. There's no eco mode, anything in here. We're gonna have to climb it on 21 degrees, everything normal. We're just driving. We're at exactly 80%. Good number.
Kommer jetzt ins Fernsehen.
Kommen ins Fernsehen. We just drove out of the city so far. Oh, no, we have no speed limit now. Let's drive 130, see how it is. So far we drove maybe 86 kilometers an hour average speed, so I doubt that we can do the 130. Maybe we do the 120, something like this. So far consumption is 173. It's going up since I just accelerated. We drove 15 kilometers. I have cruise control on, adaptive cruise control, and even self-steering. And awesome, I think the Polestar always had that, but Volvo got rid of this option to turn on the pilot. So the self-steering, you just press the right button on your steering wheel here on the left, and then this is just steering itself, and after a while it just complains, as it should be, yeah, like this. And holding doesn't do it, you have to steer a tiny bit. And just turning it off, press again the right button, it's done. I also noticed something which I'm not the biggest fan of, that when you have set your cruise control to 130, this is not a limit, it's a suggestion. So when you drive 110 like now, and it's downhill, it drives faster. So that's why we were just driving 113. It just slowed down because of this car in front of us. So it goes over the speed that you set in cruise control. Other cars don't do that. This car does it, you just have to know. So maybe don't go exactly at the speed limit, maybe a bit lower than that. I also have seen here in the range assist, in the range assistant, it shows you your range that is projected. Not here in the car, it shows you a standard range that it says at 77% you have 410 kilometers of range. No, in the assistant it shows you what according to your driving, and this, by the way, is my instant consumption right now. There's no a comma, it's just a full number and it's fine. But if you want the car to display the projected range, you just go in here. In English you would say projected and standard, and then it shows the number that is in here, which is way better. So the range will change according to your driving, and That is awesome. When you are in some window here, with the apps, you always have the apps and you have 4 area. So navigation, service, music, and video. Or even though there's Spotify in there too, but even the Prime Video. And if you wanna get to this view, you always have this here. When you press the button down here, the same as in Volvo, and then you have the same apps again. Navigation, service, music, and now here is video, but it can be music as well. And this, of course, you can get to your maps, and this always can be something different. So if I select the better route planner and then I go in here, ooh, that's bad by the way, and then it tells me that this is now Google Maps. What I find bad is this. How does it not know what car this is? This is an extra app for this car. Do I have to select that I'm driving a Polestar? We are driving nicely in this Polestar 2 single motor. We haven't tested the power yet. It's 299 horsepower. But overall, at 120, 130, I've now decided to do the 120 kilometers an hour trip. I will test what GPS speed this speedometer is off as well in a second. But first, just about how is the drive. Overall, at 120, 130, noise in here is totally fine. It's not too loud, it's very comfortable. Suspension is a tiny bit on the sporty side, but overall okay. Steering the same, it a bit firmer, even though I have it in standard. Maybe I should put it into soft, might be a bit better. Cruise control is exactly like it was before, in the way that on a country road it would be amazing, even though when there's a car far away and it's slower than you, it will already slow you down a bit. On the highway it can be a bit annoying because you're far away from the next car in front of you and it's already slowing down, and then you go out to pass a truck or whatever way too far. So you have to do something with your right foot and accelerate a bit so you don't slow down that much. The self-steering works pretty nice. I don't feel or see any change, and I didn't have to. I think the only problem I had with a Volvo once was on highways when there was an on-ramp into the highway, that sometimes the car didn't know, is this a road? Do I have to go there or do I stay here? But I think they fixed this a while ago. It just drives nicely. The interior hasn't changed too much. It's a nice interior. It feels nice to drive. It's comfortable. We're having fun. Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Hello. Hello. Oh man, we are such idiots, and it's good that way. So we're halfway. We drove 47 minutes. Average speed is 104. So let's call it 110 kilometers an hour range test. But maybe on the way back we get a bit faster. We'll see. If we get to 112, we say it's 120 kilometers an hour range test. We drove 80 kilometers, have an average consumption of 156. That's awesome. And we used 16% of the battery. We calculate the range later, but we're gonna turn around now and go back to Munich. We are almost there, 33 kilometers to go. We have used 25% of our battery and we drove around 127 kilometers. So that means at this speed, 105 kilometers average speed. So that's like driving 110 most of the time. 500 kilometers of range, which is pretty good. Our average consumption is 156. Wasn't it the same before? I think so. Looks all very good. I noticed sometimes the pilot, so the self-steering, can be a bit jerky. It does some weird movements sometimes, but it's not a big deal. And it's a very new car, 1200 kilometers. I think it's also still learning a bit. It tells us, by the way, in Google Maps here with what state of charge we will arrive. It says 46%, so that's good, we need that. And when you do navigation, it tells you what state of charge you arrive, and if you go back to your starting point, what then your state of charge will be. That's pretty cool. It's a good idea if you go somewhere and then, oh, can I get back? It will tell you. That's good. We arrived with 50%, so we have used 30% for 162.3 kilometers. We're gonna look at Google Maps very fast in a second how many kilometers that really was. We have a consumption of 151 watt hours per kilometer. We drove 1 hour and 40 minutes. Well, we were standing for a few minutes and it was still counting, and our average speed went down. And we have an average speed of 100 kilometers an hour. That's not amazing. So it really was 110 kilometers an hour range test. And let's calculate. Google Maps says it's 163 kilometers. The car shows 162.3, so it's spot on. And we use 30%. That means our range will be 543 kilometers at 100 kilometers an hour average speed. Let's say if you drive 110 kilometers on the highway. That's pretty good. We're gonna plug it in and charge a bit now. We're charging now, we're at 50%. Let's see what charging speed we get. Peak would be 205 kilowatt. It will never get that now. But if it gets 100 kilowatt, I would be very, very happy. That's okay. My God. And down. Up and down. 116. Okay. 118 kilowatt, that's pretty good. 426 volt, that's a high voltage for a battery that size. Good amp. 120 kilowatt almost. It's going up. Huh. We're gonna charge here for just a minute and then we'll see we go on. But the drive was amazing. I liked it a lot, and it looks like the car is really more efficient. Charging is good. 120 kilowatt at 50%. I'm okay with it. It's not 800 volt system, so really good. But we're gonna do a little acceleration test hopefully and then bring it back. Bye! Ja. Alles gut. Und oh, der Schwach von unten raus. We have exactly 6.2 seconds, like Polestar is saying. It's spot on. And we have a valid test here with just a tiny bit of a downhill, but almost 1%. All great.